Slam Dunk Reborn. I drew Akashi's Emperor Eye System. Welcome funds. Enjoy exclusive audiobook experiences right here. Check out my website for more episodes and audiobooks. Links are in the description. Episode 021. Could this guy be the type who lacks confidence but keeps pretending to be so? Ryonan quickly took the advantage. Sendoh's offensive firepower alone is unquestionable. He can consume the ball even with a single stick, not to mention that Ryonan also has a monster-level assist machine like Tachibana Nijiro. On the other hand, Ebihara's offense has been a bit behind. Power forward Ishimaru Yuji is very strong, but Ebihara's team is a typical one-man team. The other players obviously have limited support for him, especially his inside partner. So, when Uezumi turned his defense to him, Ishimaru Yuji's offensive ability was visibly greatly reduced. Ryonan firmly suppressed Ebihara, but Tachibana Nijiro's task was not completed smoothly. It was still too difficult to use the spider web in the first quarter. First, Ryonan has not been to the whole country, and Ebihara is a small role in the country, so Ryonan has no video data for a national first-round team like Ebihara. Therefore, the ability to analyze the team analysis spider web requires observation before taking action, just like Hanamiya Shinjiro of Kuroko Basketball vs Seirin. Second, Ryonan's team does not have a player like Kentaro Seto, the first player of Kurosaki, who can follow the spider web thinking and assist Tachibana Nijiro in intercepting other ball routes. At least for the time being. Not even Sendoh can do it. Perhaps we have to wait until next year for the point guard version of Sendoh to do it. So, the difficulty of intercepting the pass has increased further. The difficulty is here. But Tachibana Nijiro is in a hurry now. After all, every time you complete a spider web interception, you can get a card draw ticket. The mission reward is just around the corner. If you intercept one more pass, you will get one more ticket. Who wouldn't be anxious? So in the first quarter, Tachibana Nijiro carefully observed and analyzed the actions of Ryonan High School while trying several times, but all failed. Tachibana Nijiro. It's a bit difficult. Think about it, what did Hanamiya Makoto do when he played against Seirin? Hanamiya Makoto. Script. When playing against Seirin, it seemed that the entire first half was a foreshadowing. Hanamiya Makoto thought that if he could kill the opponent by messing around in the beginning, it would be fine. Even if it didn't work, the small movements and verbal provocations at the beginning would make the opponent's head hot and easier to see through. In the second half, he used the spider web of thorough observation. At this time, even if the opponent wanted to struggle, he could no longer move, just like the prey tightly grasped by the spider. This is the script of the evil boy. So, it's not enough to just observe and analyze. I have to speed up like Hanamiya Makoto. Small movements. I don't care to use them. All I can do is to put mental pressure on the opponent by verbal provocation. In this case, minus the small movements, the time for observation and analysis, compared to Hanamiya Makoto who has to distract himself to cover the referee's sight for his teammates' small movements, I should not spend half a game for analysis. Observing for one quarter should be enough. If I were to provoke him with words. Although I have the ability of bad boy, good at seeing through the opponent's weaknesses, physically crushing the opponent's attack and exerting mental pressure, avoiding the referee's sight to foul the opponent. But, is it really possible? Although I know a little bit, I never said trash talk when I played basketball before. And then quickly, Tachibana Nijiro knew it. Not only can it work, but it's too good. After Yuji Ishimaru of Ebihara High School finally completed a turnaround jump shot against Uzumi's help defense, Yuji Ishimaru excitedly waved his hands. Ha! Everyone, defend with all your strength. Give him another shot next. Oh! Yuji Ishimaru's dark skin gradually turned red with his arm swing and excited shouts, and the passionate picture suddenly turned into a struggle for Ebihara High School. Especially after he resisted Uzumi's turnaround jump shot. It was at this time. At the moment of passing by, Tachibana Nijiro challenged Ishimaru Yuji. You are so passionate, Ishimaru-senpai, but the score difference has not been narrowed at all. Although I don't care much about opponents of your strength. But, if the opponent is a guy who trains hard and spends his youth for basketball, and sees you lose your soul and look unwilling when you lose, I will also feel very happy. Tachibana Nijiro's words not only confused Ishimaru Yuji, but also the surrounding Ryonan teammates, and then they turned their heads and saw the sinister smile on Tachibana Nijiro's face. Coming back to his senses, Ishimaru Yuji walked over while mumbling, and it was only at this moment that Tachibana Nijiro heard what the other party had been mumbling. I am strong. The strongest in the team. The strongest in Mi Prefecture. The strongest in the country. This guy kept saying all kinds of strongest, and then, when he came to Tachibana Nijiro, his voice suddenly became louder. Where did you come from? How dare you talk to me like that? The eyes suddenly widened, coupled with the dark skin, plus the height of 189 centimeters. Ishimaru Yuji was full of oppression. Akira Sendoh, who was next to him, immediately rushed up and blocked Tachibana Nijiro. Although he didn't know why this guy was talking nonsense, even his expression suddenly became abnormal. But he would not let his opponent hurt his teammates. And this Ishimaru Yuji looked different from Tachibana Nijiro. He looked very fierce, and the momentum made anyone look like he was going to fight in the next second. At this time, the players on both sides also rushed over and stopped both sides. Seeing this scene, Ishimaru Yuji frowned slightly, coordinated with the movements of his hands and the fierce words in his mouth, but his feet took 2 steps back very secretly. Tachibana Nijiro noticed this keenly. Good fellow. It's not just me who's acting here. There's also Ishimaru Yuji. Thinking of what he just heard, Ishimaru Yuji's strongest catchphrase that was basically no different from self-hypnosis, Tachibana Nijiro looked at Ishimaru Yuji with a strange look on his face. Isn't this guy the type who has no confidence but always pretends to be confident? And, damn, my trash talk just now was too smooth. It's exactly the same as Hanamiya Makoto. Episode 022, you are already deeply trapped in the spider's lair, and all that remains is to be slowly eaten away. In Ryonan's round, Tachibana Nijiro and Funahashi Daisuke played a pick-and-roll match. Tachibana Nijiro's pass accurately found the captain who was following, and the perfect pass was launched. The captain completed a close shot in the defense of Ishimaru Yuji's long arms that almost blocked his eyes. The basketball circled around the basket dangerously and finally fell into the basket. Tachibana Nijiro celebrated with the captain. At the same time, he continued to attack Ishimaru Yuji like a bad boy. Perhaps Tachibana Nijiro's sincerity touched Ishimaru Yuji, and Ishimaru Yuji asked for the ball very hard in the penalty area in the next round and rushed to the basket. Funahashi Daisuke had already lost his position, and Ishimaru Yuji kicked the ground and jumped. Boom tilde. A dunk that exploded the basket. Immediately afterwards, Tachibana Nijiro was immediately responded by Ishimaru Yuji's fierce eyes. So in this back and forth, as the game progressed, suddenly at a certain moment, Tachibana Nijiro completely outlined the entire attack mode of Ebihara in his mind. Of course, Ishimaru Yuji was so angry with the evil boy, that it was easier to see through the attack of Ryonan High School, and this should also be credited. In the field, bang tilde. Ishimaru Yuji was stunned for a moment. Their point guard stable pass was intercepted. Tachibana Nijiro was very fast, and his interception of the pass just now was obviously predictive. The moment he grabbed the ball, he accelerated into the counterattack. Layup scored 2 points. Ebihara point guard frowned, and his teammates patted him on the shoulder, don't worry too much. At the same time, Tachibana Nijiro was very excited. Because the system prompt sounded very timely. Card ticket task, reward loading, get the reward, draw card ticket times 1 foot. Hey tilde. For the reward. What's wrong with destroying the character? My buddy is a sharp tongue. Tachibana Nijiro yelled at Ishimaru Yuji, 20 minutes is too much to deal with you, a bunch of scum. After yelling, Ishimaru Yuji was stunned. This is too much. With his fierce appearance, he had never been yelled at like this before, and he wanted to fight back immediately. Apart from other things, in terms of momentum, Ishimaru Yuji, who has this matching appearance, is very good at using it. Then, looking at the ferocious Yuji Ishimaru, Tachibana Nijiro smiled and went up to him with a smooth output. Forget it, Yuji Ishimaru. I told you, you were too weak. The only one who can beat me is me. As for you, hee. Your defeat is absolute. The winner has nothing to say to the loser. You'd better figure out how much you are worth as soon as possible. Ishimaru Yuji looked at Tachibana Nijiro with a sinister smile, and he felt bad because this guy is too talkative and good at talking. After playing basketball for so many years in high school, Yuji Ishimaru has seen many national-level monsters, but this is the first time he has encountered someone who can be so annoying with just his mouth. Ishimaru Yuji, who was completely unable to speak, finally threw out one sentence. You. Just wait. Yeah. Tachibana Nijiro shouted at Ishimaru Yuji's back. Only the point of not giving up easily, I can agree with you a little bit. Ishimaru Yuji. Damn it. Kanagawa B********************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************* boy was very close and could hear the conversation on the court very clearly. But the Ebihara students behind her. The steel just now was very powerful. One student said weakly. However, Ishimaru-senpai is more imposing, and it can be seen that he was obviously ignited after the previous conflict. The Ebihara fierce eyes appeared so quickly. Will the opponent be scared? It's okay. Don't think too much, it's nothing serious. Although Ishimaru Yuji is a bit fierce, he has always been very measured, and judging from the expression of the player Ryonan just now, the exchange between the two may be very pleasant. The students of Ebihara watched the exchange between Tachibana Nijiro and Ishimaru Yuji just now, and quickly outlined a complete story in their minds. For example, the opponent was scared by Ishimaru Yuji's appearance. Ishimaru Yuji. Although he had never been confident before, since joining Ebihara High School, under the guidance of the coach, a set of self-hypnosis meditation methods has significantly improved his confidence. Even, the improvement is a bit too great. So under the stimulation of Tachibana Nijiro, and after quickly comparing his physical ability and technical advantages over Ryonan, the power forward, he immediately increased the frequency of asking for the ball. Then, the next offensive round, with a snap tilde, the pass was intercepted by Tachibana Nijiro again. Even Ishimaru Yuji had carefully called the ball from the small forward this time, but the result was the same as the last round. It was stolen, again? Ryonan's counterattack. Always having the pass intercepted, shouldn't we be like this in Ebihara? Akira Sendoh looked at Tachibana Nijiro and frowned slightly. Although Tachibana was very good at stealing before, he was not at this level in his impression. He was a little too confident in intercepting the pass. He had been gambling forward and stealing the ball twice in a row, even if the defense was out of position. You know, if you fail to grab the ball like this, it will be a counterattack. But, there is no time to think about it. Because the next second, Tachibana Nijiro passed the ball. Bang tilde. After receiving the ball, Akira Sendoh immediately launched a counterattack. And Tachibana Nijiro turned to look at Ishimaru Yuji after passing the ball. Sorry, your scoring will become very difficult next time. Because, you are already trapped in the spider's nest, and the rest is just slowly being eaten away. Card ticket mission, reward loading, get the reward, draw card ticket times 1 foot. Off the court, Ryonan is on the bench. Uekusa, who is also a point guard, has widened his eyes and can't understand why steals have become so powerful since Tachibana Nijiro kept talking. And Taroka Moiki's face is flushed. Genius. A real genius. Episode 023, Wakamatsu Kosuke, Hayakawa Mitsuhiro, and Ogawara Shigeru? Off the court, Taroka Moichi said with emotion. Ebihara and his team have played so far. Although the ace player Ishimaru Yuji has taken the most shots, the other players have cooperated with him very well and played team basketball. And before the conflict with Tachibana, Ishimaru Yuji also played very beautifully, using his own threats and radiating to others at the same time. His level is very high. Uekusa Tomoyuki and Koshino Hiroaki nodded. It was indeed true. The other players of Ebihara provided great support to Ishimaru Yuji, and Ishimaru Yuji also provided assists for his teammates' open cuts. To say that the level is high means that the efficiency is very good. All members can often make good judgments based on the situation on the court. Taroka Moichi paused for a moment, but this is a trap. Tachibana Nijiro. He has definitely seen through all the opponent's offensive patterns. Taroka Moichi specifically mentioned Ebihara's point guard, especially the opponent's point guard, who is the type that never makes mistakes. As a point guard, he is actually a very good type. Hearing this, Uekusa Tomoyuki's eyes flashed with surprise. Because, he is the same type. This type, although not as eye-catching as others on the court, but the stability and calmness in handling the ball is the basis for the team to stabilize the offense and control the rhythm, but this correct method will become bait in front of Tachibana. As Taroka Moichi spoke, on the court, Ebihara's point guard's pass was intercepted by Tachibana Nijiro again. Ebihara's point guard gritted his teeth. Damn it, here it comes again. How could this happen? He couldn't help but look at Tachibana Nijiro in front of him, thinking, is this guy the worm in his heart? Why is he so clear about the next pass movement and then blocks the pass route? Has he been completely seen through by him until now? Taroka Moichi looked at Tachibana Nijiro holding the opponent in his hands with admiration, and said, that is to say, more than a whole quarter of time, it was all Tachibana Nijiro's time to observe and analyze, and for this purpose, he made some verbal provocations to make the opponent's head hot and easier to see through. Then when all the opponent's offensive patterns were analyzed and understood, the spider web-like pass interception began. As expected of a genius Tachibana, there are players who are smart and good at analyzing opponents. But, this point can be so dazzling and played out in this way. This is the first time I have seen it. Hearing this, everyone on the bench looked dumbfounded. Because everything Tachibana Nijiro is doing now has gone beyond the scope of basketball skills, but is based on the layout evolved from his understanding of basketball. For high school students, it suddenly sounds quite far away. On the court, Although Tachibana Nijiro's team analysis spiderweb is still lacking, such as the current level is medium, such as there is no Seto Kentaro who can keep up with his thinking and assist him, so he can't make a perfect interception. But from the perspective of defense and the perspective of brushing rewards, it is completely enough. Too much. Snap tilde. Tachibana Nijiro intercepts. Card ticket mission, rewards are loaded, and the reward, card drawing ticket times 1 foot is obtained. Let me show you what the difference in status is with my actions. Snap tilde. Tachibana Nijiro intercepts. Card voucher mission, reward loading, get reward, card draw voucher times 1 foot. My orders are absolute, you better not make me angry. Snap tilde. Tachibana Nijiro intercepts. Card voucher mission, reward loading, get reward, card draw voucher times 1 foot. Let me teach you how cruel basketball is. What effort, what fighting spirit, what faith, I will destroy you all. Ishimaru Yuji was sweating profusely, and was numbed by Tachibana Nijiro's brushing, and was completely out of his mind by the other party's constant dirty talk. The most important thing is, they lost a lot of ball rights in passing, so naturally they had no chance of winning. On the other hand, Ryonan. Using Tachibana Nijiro's interception, the Ryonan players rushed for only about 1.5 quarters, and the score difference between the two sides became larger and larger. A few minutes into the fourth quarter, the score difference had reached 36 points. Ebihara immediately replaced all the main players and gave up. Seeing this scene, Tachibana Nijiro, who was still not satisfied, panicked. He had only brushed 15. If he continued to brush in the fourth quarter, he was quite confident that he could brush more than 20. He got 20 card draw tickets in one go. Although this was very tiring for the body and mind, it was very refreshing. Sure enough, following Ebihara, Ryonan also replaced the main players, and the substitutes came on the court. Among them, Fukuda Kiku finally had the opportunity to come on the court. Not noticing the look Fukuda Kiku gave him when he passed by, Tachibana Nijiro sat directly on the bench on the sidelines. Looking at the 15 card draw tickets in the system, he was quite satisfied. At least compared with the fixed rewards of the last game, he brushed out 5 more in this game, which was also considered to be a good deal from the system. At the same time, pool mission, defeat Ryonan High School in the training match and win the game. Pool mission has been completed, rewards loaded. Limited time, hot-blooded player, pool has been opened. Oh my goodness. The game is still going on, early settlement, right? Click on the hot-blooded player, pool. The layout is still the same as last time. A big gold card stands in the middle, with the familiar golden back cover, and this time it is guarded by 3 purple cards in the middle. But what makes Tachibana Nijiro speechless than last time is, look, who are these? Wakamatsu Kosuke, Hayakawa Mitsuo, and Ogawara Narahiro? Tachibana Nijiro. It is really a hot-blooded pool, in the literal sense. Kaijo's second-year number 1 hot-blooded man Hayakawa Mitsuo, to's next captain Wakamatsu Kosuke, who is upset with Aomin every day. And finally, Kuroko Tetsuya's good friend Ogahara Shigeiro. Indeed, he is quite passionate. These are the things. Should I draw them myself or not? Or, save these cards and wait for the next wave of card pool? After all, the offensive player card pool will always appear, right? Episode 024. Because of the existence of Sendoh and Tachibana, Ryonan is bound to become a team that aims to dominate the country. Tachibana Nijiro finally chose to draw. One reason is that 15 draw tickets were drawn in this game, and it is not impossible to allocate 5 to this hot-blooded player card pool. Another reason. In the card pool, Wakamatsu Kosuke and Hayakawa Mitsuo are both inside players who are obsessed with rebounds. If they are drawn, they can just make up for their shortcomings in strength, rebounds, and blocks. So, how about draw alone? After all, a single draw can produce miracles. Whoosh tilde. The first card. The draw ticket was thrown out, and a green light flew out of the card pool. It was a training acceleration card as expected. The second card. The green card, bounce training acceleration card, tilde. The third card. The fifth card. Tachibana Nijiro was very calm. After all, he didn't invest much, but when the fifth card really lit up with purple light, he subconsciously clenched his fist. Who? Buzz tilde. The purple light retreated. The full picture of the card was revealed. Player, Mingguang Ogawara Shigeiro, first. Skill, Ogawara Shigeiro's smile, first. Ogawara Shigeiro's smile. Even when you are close to your limit, even when you have the belief that everything will end here, that cheering and smile are enough to summon the courage to fight and then move towards victory, once per game, each time lasts for 5 rounds. Effect, 10% physical recovery, 30% increase in calmness and concentration. Tachibana Nijiro. Ogawara Shigeiro also has this ability? Physical recovery 10%, calmness and concentration increase 30%. I don't have any physical crisis for the time being, and my concentration is completely fine. It's better to say that this skill is for my teammates rather than for myself. Especially the calmness and concentration, which are tailor-made for Uezumi. He still clearly remembered that in the original plot, in the semi-finals next year, Uzumi unwisely criticized the referee and was sent off for a technical foul, which led to Ryonan's defeat in overtime. Then, in the game for the second place with Shohoko, he unwisely fouled Sakurai and was prematurely sentenced to the fourth foul, forcing Ryonan to temporarily replace him. As a result, while Uzumi was off the court, Ryonan was pulled away by Shohoko and finally lost the game. If Uzumi had the buff of Ogahara Shigeru's smile, who knows who would go to the national team in the original plot? TSK. That's okay, this skill. Not a loss. And it's quite interesting to think that in the world of Kuroko, Shigeru Ogahara raised the basketball to Kuroko at the game, while Uzumi peeled a carrot to Akagi at the game. You two are quite compatible. The final whistle blew, and Ryonan defeated Ebihara 118-79, winning 2 consecutive training matches. Sendoh scored 40 points. Tachibana Nijiro scored 11 points, 13 assists and 20 steals, which made the Ryonan players in charge of statistics exclaim that it was an outrageous triple-double. As soon as the game ended, the Ebihara players on the opposite side all surrounded Tachibana Nijiro. I wanted to criticize Tachibana Nijiro for what he said on the court, but I didn't expect that after leaving the court, Tachibana Nijiro would change his face and show a polite attitude. Ebihara team members. All of them were stunned by Tachibana Nijiro's polite attack, completely defeated by the other party's politeness. After dealing with this group of people, on the other side, Taroka Moichi also came back from Coach Ebihara refreshed. A moment later, Tachibana Nijiro, who had packed his equipment, was about to leave with the team. When he turned his head, he saw Aida Yayoi, who was staring at him with wide eyes, as if she had found a treasure. That eager look. Well, Tachibana Nijiro was sure that it was definitely just because of basketball, because in the original plot, when she watched Sendoh, she looked like this, an overly excited fanatic fan. As expected, next, in the Ryonan team, the two walked side by side, and Aida Yayoi's topic was all basketball, basketball, and basketball. Tachibana Nijiro tried to change the topic several times, but was cleverly turned back by the other party. Miss Aida, there is no time to hate basketball more than now. Aida Yayoi pretended not to understand, lowered her head, and scribbled the content of the interview in her notebook. Tachibana Nijiro leaned towards her and glanced down. Then he said, "Remember to record my words, thank you." Shiyu. Aida Yayoi looked up and glared at him. 2 days later, Taroka Moichi, who finally came out once, led the Ryonan team to continue the journey to Mie Prefecture. In this game, when the system did not issue any tasks before the game, Tachibana Nijiro, who was not mentally prepared, felt a little disappointed. Because this means that the system does not arrange card pools and rewards for every game. For example, the team of Wakai did not receive any reward. Wakai High School in Mie Prefecture. At a time when Mie Prefecture only had one seeded spot and was firmly controlled by Ebihara High School, they still did not give up the competition with the opponent. The ace player of the team, Kujiya Samu, was also very inspiring in the competition process with Ebihara High School in Mie Prefecture. He was a player who was good at shooting and scoring. But obviously, it was still a little short of the standard for the system to issue tasks. Because this year's Wakai High School, with the departure of several main third-year players last year, is in very bad shape. It is said that in the current training matches, it is no longer the second place in Mie Prefecture in the past. Compared with Wakai High School, Ryonan is naturally a better team, and the game process is the same. Ryonan, who came to Wakai High School to fight, took the initiative from the beginning. Under the connection of Tachibana Nijiro, Ryonan played a smooth attack. No surprises. Another big win, and a big win with the largest score difference of 50 points. Throughout the game, with the assists of Tachibana Nijiro, Ryonan had an amazing 6 players score in double figures, and Sendoh scored nearly 50 points. After coming to Ryonan, Sendoh always felt that his scoring ability had become much stronger, such as the 48 points in this game, most of which were played quite easily. And his scoring performance also made the whole Ryonan team full of expectations for this year's county competition. Buri, Shoyo, Kainan. They want to overthrow all the teams one by one and then go to the national level. Even after going to the national level, because of the presence of Sendoh and Tachibana, Ryonan will definitely become a team that aims to dominate the national level. Episode 025, Daie Gaku and Tsuchiya Jun, Offensive Player Card Pool. Ryonan's trip to Mie Prefecture, with Tachibana Nijiro's terrifying performance of consecutive triple-doubles, Ryonan won a series of victories along the way, and this journey was soon reported in Weekly Basketball, through Aida Yayoi. Although Ryonan, buried in the national team reports in a thick weekly, is not very eye-catching, for Kanagawa, many teams still notice them. And Ryonan students exclaimed after getting the weekly that they already have such strength. Tachibana Nijiro's triple-double and Sendoh's score all shocked Ryonan students. Of course, everyone didn't know that Tachibana Nijiro had a time travel and brought a system, such a thing as the chosen son of heaven. Everyone thought that Tachibana Nijiro was the kind of player who was not well known in junior high school and worked hard in the later period to make a qualitative leap. And the reason for this impression is all due to Aida Yayoi's report. During the expedition to Mie Prefecture, Tachibana Nijiro's daily training consumed the training acceleration card. Through Aida Yayoi's report and Tachibana Nijiro's irresistible talk, Tachibana Nijiro's hard work was full of miraculous colors. Aida Yayoi's report. Have you ever seen a gym at 3 a.m.? In order to improve himself, Tachibana Nijiro got up at 3 a.m. every morning for morning exercises. Before the sun rose, he had completed 2 hours of ball control exercises. This is the trick to improve Tachibana Nijiro's ball control ability. Tachibana Nijiro's persistent physical training method. 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, and 10 kilometers of running every day. Tachibana Nijiro, who persisted for half a year, successfully became stronger. However, according to Tachibana Nijiro, getting stronger may also make you bald. In Aida Yayoi's article, apart from some of Tachibana Nijiro's weird words about baldness, he has become a positive example of motivational struggle. But in fact, during this period, Tachibana Nijiro, who used all his strength to consume the training acceleration card, did train very hard, and even had a perverted tirelessness. However, this was all thanks to the training acceleration card. The characteristic of training can directly accelerate the training process, which greatly reduced the pain and torture of Tachibana Nijiro during the training process. As we all know, whether it is losing weight, studying, or working, all things that require perseverance, the most painful part is the process. Once this process can become easier to a certain extent, it will definitely inspire people's enthusiasm. This is the current state of Tachibana Nijiro. To the outside world, practice. Everyone will practice and it will be done. To yourself, practice. Anyway, there is an acceleration card, so how can training be so painful? However, although Tachibana Nijiro practiced hard and the team continued to win in the expedition to Mie Prefecture, everything was moving in a good direction, but Tachibana Nijiro was a little unhappy. Because the system hadn't issued any tasks for a long time, if it weren't for my ability, the system could be opened, and I saw the slightly increased attributes, Tachibana Nijiro would have thought the system had disappeared. After less than a month of expedition, the Ryonan team returned to Kanagawa Prefecture, preparing for the first battle of the prefectural tournament on May 19, more than 20 days later. It was also at this time. The long silent system finally issued a task. Card ticket task. In the training match with Dai Academy, limit the number of assists of Dai Academy's ace Tsuchiya Jun to single digits. Achievement reward, card draw ticket times 10. Pool mission, defeat Dai Gakuen in a training match and win the game. Achievement reward, open the limited time, offensive player, pool. FK. What shocked Tachibana Nijiro was not only the offensive player, pool, but also the opponent Dai Gakuen, and Tsuchiya Jun, who was once evaluated by Aida Hikoichi as being on par with Sendoh. Sendoh looked at Tachibana Nijiro, who was doing warm-up exercises, and suddenly froze in place and asked, "What's wrong, Tachibana?" Tachibana Nijiro turned around, not caring whether the other party could understand or not, and just said with a complicated and unfathomable face, "I'm just a little excited to think that I will see you 1 year later soon." Akira Sendoh. 1 year later. Myself? What is this guy Tachibana talking about? At this time, Taoka Moichi entered the field, clapped his hands, attracted everyone's attention, and said, "Everyone, this afternoon is our last training match before the county competition. Opposite, last year's #1 seed in Osaka, Dai Gakuen." After hearing the coach's words, Sendoh immediately looked at Tachibana Nijiro, thinking, did Tachibana know the news of the training match in advance? Is there a player he knows in the opponent Dai Gakuen? He rated him as himself in 1 year? Interesting. In the afternoon, Dai Gakuen came to Ryonan High School. Because of Osaka's #1 seed, the team also came with weekly basketball reporters from the Osaka area. And surprisingly, the reporters from Osaka knew Tachibana Nijiro very well and were familiar with his performance in Mie Prefecture. At the same time, Sendoh also received their attention, but Tachibana Nijiro noticed that Sendoh was obviously only because of himself. "Hello, Tachibana-san, may I ask, Tsuchiya, who led the team to the national quarterfinals last year as a freshman, actually took the initiative to apply for a training match with Ryonan High School because of you. What do you think about this?" "Huh? Is that so?" Thank you. After all, it is still difficult for us Ryonan to make an appointment with a team at the national top 8 level. We are both point guards. Are you looking forward to the match with Tsuchiya? We noticed that you have been looking at Tsuchiya-san since the beginning. Tachibana Nijiro thought for a while and replied, of course, I am very much looking forward to playing against him. I have seen his performance in the national competition last year, and I am very excited now. What is your goal? Can you still play that kind of triple-double data against Tsuchiya? Let it be. I still need to learn a lot from Tsuchiya Senior now. Tachibana Nijiro, who said one thing to one person and another to another in front of reporters, let the Osaka reporters experience the feeling of Aida Yayoi's first interview with Tachibana Nijiro. Asked. Answered. But it seemed that nothing was gained. Episode 026, Ryonan vs Daiei, starting 6-0. Soon, the well-informed Ryonan students filled the gym. Amid the noise, Tachibana Nijiro looked around. The basketball atmosphere in Ryonan was indeed very good. There were not only girls who were in love, but also more male spectators, especially after Tachibana Nijiro and Akira Sendoh came to Ryonan. Seeing these Ryonan students who were cheering for him enthusiastically, Tachibana Nijiro waved to them very naturally. While warming up, the audience around him suddenly started to talk noisily. Tachibana Nijiro turned around and saw that it was Daiei Gakuen on the opposite side. Last year's national quarterfinals. This was the first time Ryonan had seen an opponent of this level. Daiei Gakuen was the number 1 seed in Osaka, and the second place was Toyotama High School, which was more well known in the plotline. Tachibana Nijiro knew very little about Daiei Gakuen. But last year's Toyotama should have been eliminated in the top 8 in the country. Coach Kitano, who advocated 8 points of offense and 2 points of defense, was fired by the school and then went to a certain elementary school to continue coaching. The new coach Kanehira took over. Probably last year should be in this timeline. And through Toyotama High School, Tachibana Nijiro also had a preliminary impression of Tsuchiya Jun, a tall and strong command tower, very similar to Sendoh's style. However, this evaluation belongs to the first year of the plot when Sakuragai Hanamichi enters Shohoko next year. Well, that is, next year. The battle for the top seed in Osaka. Daiei Gakuen restricted Toyotama High School, which prides itself on explosive offense. The plot only has a very short scene. Tsuchiya attacked at an astonishing speed. When Toyotama's Kishimoto came to his senses and raised his hands to defend, he saw Tsuchiya Jun appeared in front of him and started to make moves in the air. Under the double-team defense of 3 people, Tsuchiya, who was extremely clear-headed, used a beautiful fake move to accurately send the ball from the left with a low hand. The teammate who just arrived received the ball and easily scored a layup, and the score was widened to 10 points. The irrational Kishimoto kept cursing, but Tsuchiya Jun did not show any mercy and continued to play with Toyotama High School's Kishimoto. So the next round was Tsuchiya Jun's standard jump shot over the head of the 188 cm strong forward Kishimoto, and the ball went into the net. With amazing speed, accurate and timely passes, a calm mind, good bounces, and accurate shots, Tsuchiya Jun has all the technical characteristics of a first-class guard. And the entire Daiei Academy also closely centered on Tsuchiya Jun and launched an attack in an orderly manner. Therefore, if this Tsuchiya is used as the standard, Tachibana Nijiro weighed the system's tasks. To limit Tsuchiya Jun's assists to single digits, all he can rely on is the spiderweb, but since Tsuchiya Jun took the initiative to apply for the game, the opponent must have first-hand information about Ryonan. On the other hand, he needs time to analyze the opponent, and the time required is bound to be longer than analyzing the previous opponents, so this task may not be so easy to complete. Moreover, facing a team like Daiei Gakuen, Tachibana Nijiro decided to spend more energy on leading the team to victory. For him, winning is definitely more important than limiting Tsuchiya Jun's assists. What's more, if he wins, he can open the offensive player card pool. The game will start soon. Yuzumi beat the center of Daiei Gakuen with a jump ball. Tsuchiya Jun, who is 190 cm tall, went to defend Sendoh, and the one defending Tachibana Nijiro was another shorter player on the backline. Tachibana Nijiro dribbled the ball forward. He had an absolute advantage in the matchup. He did not call for a screen, but started directly and entered the penalty area with excellent and efficient control. There was no one on the Daiei Gakuen side to help defend, and Tachibana Nijiro made a quick stop jump shot to open the scoring for Ryonan. 2-0. Huh? Ryonan Stadium was filled with exclamations. In addition to Tachibana Nijiro's superhuman assist ability, the audience in the stands also saw his outstanding shooting that was hidden, which made them brighten up. Daiei Gakuen's attack. Jun Tsuchiya directly advanced from the baseline with the ball, all the way to the 45-degree angle of the three-point line. However, as a point guard, Tachibana Nijiro was unable to directly confront Jun Tsuchiya, because Akira Sendoh had already taken the lead and arrived in front of Jun Tsuchiya. Akira Sendoh defended Jun Tsuchiya. Tsuchiya continued to hold the ball and back to the basket, and after pushing into the mid-range position, he suddenly turned over and leaned back, and Sendoh also jumped forward to defend at the moment when the opponent turned over and jumped. The jump height was very high. The long arms gave Tsuchiya some interference, and the trajectory of the basketball was very straight, but a little off. Ding tilde. The ball hit the front of the basket and bounced up. Jun Tsuchiya missed the first shot, and there was chaos under the basket at Daiei Gakuen. The center of Daiei grabbed the rebound, but did not grab it completely. Ikegami Ryoji reached out and the basketball flew out. Funahashi Daisuke picked up the ball and handed it to Tachibana Nijiro immediately. Counterattack. Offense and defense transitions have always been Ryonan's advantage. Tachibana Nijiro Kazuma took the lead. Tsuchiya Jun's pursuit and defense were also very good. He kept a perfect distance from Tachibana Nijiro. Tachibana glanced behind him and did not force the ball. Instead, he passed the ball and took Tachibana Jun out of the baseline. Sendoh received the pass and jumped hard. Bang tilde. Dunk. Ryonan scored 4 points in a row at the beginning, and the audience was excited. The new duo is too strong. They are not shaken when facing the top 8 in the country. Tachibana Nijiro has a strong ability to control the rhythm. It can be seen that his teammates trust him very much. That's right. After getting the ball, he immediately looked for Tachibana Nijiro. We have to win. Hey, Daiei hasn't scored a single point yet. Daiei Gakuen's offense. Tsuchiya Jun still led the offense. This time, Tachibana Nijiro defended and focused very much. The continuous change of direction was blocked by Tachibana Nijiro. The center came up to give a screen. Tsuchiya broke through and attracted Ryonan's double teaming. Then, he cleverly passed the ball to the center who came down from the gap. However, Tachibana Nijiro touched it. As a result, the center of Daiei Gakuen slipped his hand and the basketball passed directly to the hands of Funabashi Daisuke on the side. Funabashi was confused. What happened? Suddenly there was an extra ball in his hand? Counterattack. Tachibana Nijiro shouted, and Funabashi Daisuke reacted immediately. The basketball was given to Tachibana Nijiro. This time, Tachibana Nijiro did not stick to the ball at all. He pushed it with both hands and the basketball shot out like a bullet. Sendoh, who was already accelerating, only felt the sound of breaking wind behind him. With his experience, he could judge that the speed of the ball was ridiculously fast. Sendoh directly played for his life and his legs were moving very fast. Sendoh received the ball. Bang! The dunk scored 2 points, 6-0. Episode 027, Tachibana Nijiro's previous worries were all unnecessary. Isn't this mission reward given for free? The game started with a 6-0 lead, and the game was called for a timeout. Oh my god. The ball was passed too fast, like lightning. I didn't even see how the ball was passed. Tachibana Kojiro didn't even use his arms to pass the ball. It felt like there was no preparatory action at all, and the ball went out immediately. That ball speed, thanks to Sendoh for catching up. Tachibana Kojiro was waiting on the sidelines for Sendoh to come over and high-five. Tachibana, you passed the ball too fast. A full-speed rush made Sendoh gasp for air, and Tachibana Kojiro couldn't help but laugh after seeing the speechless look on Sendoh's face. Because you were the one who caught the ball. The disguised compliment made Sendoh curl his lips. Don't give me that. The timeout ended, and the game returned. Tsuchiya asked for the ball in the low post, and he took a back-to-back single against Tachibana Kojiro. Tachibana Nijiro has tried his best, but his height, jumping ability and strength are all at a disadvantage. He failed to interfere with Jun Tsuchiya's fadeaway jumper, and the basketball passed his blocking hand. Swish! The ball went into the net. The beautiful posture, the smoothness, Tachibana Nijiro could only sigh at the ball. However, Tachibana Nijiro, something is wrong. Very wrong. Although this Tsuchiya also passed the ball, why does it feel? No difference from the current Sendoh? 6-2. Daiei finally scored the first goal by Jun Tsuchiya. Ryonan's round. Tachibana Nijiro carried the ball to the front court, and Jun Tsuchiya was defending him. Then, Tachibana Nijiro immediately chose to pass the ball to Sendoh, and he took Tsuchiya to run without the ball. Daiei's paint area was crowded, and Tachibana Nijiro did not choose to join in the fun, but pulled to the outside. He made a tactical gesture to Ikegami Ryoji, but the other party did not see it. At the same time, Sendoh was already in a 1v1 with his opponent. After he created space, Daiei chose to double-team him without any martial ethics. In the end, he still interfered with him to some extent. Boom tilde. Missed. Uozumi grabbed the rebound. Tachibana Nijiro rushed over to meet the opponent, and before Tsuchiya Jun intercepted, he quickly passed the ball back to Sendoh, who shot the ball in the middle. Tsuchiya Jun. glanced coldly at the penalty area. Daiei's turn. After Tsuchiya-jun pushed forward to the front court, he immediately opened a single play in the low post. Tachibana Nijiro's chest was hit and hurt, and he was knocked back by Tsuchiya in the confrontation. Ikegami Ryoji rushed over to make up for the defense, and Tsuchiya looked around and passed the ball to his teammates in the wide open space. It was obvious. Tsuchiya's teammates looked for a long time. But it was still ridiculously off. In the restricted area, Daiei's center was still at a disadvantage in the rebounding position. Fortunately, Daiei's power forward, who was in a better position than the ball, came up to help, and Yuzumi kicked the ball out of bounds. But even so, Tachibana Nijiro still saw Tsuchiya squinting and shaking his head. After noticing Tsuchiya-jun's actions, Daiei Gakuin's teammates, especially the inside players in the restricted area, did not dare to look at him at all in the momentum of keeping strangers away. Daiei Gakuin served the sideline ball. This time, Tachibana Nijiro didn't care about the point guard or the point guard. The task of defending Tsuchiya was directly handed over to Sendoh. Although this was a heavy burden for Sendoh, who had to invest a lot of physical energy on the offensive end, his height and ability were the most suitable. Tsuchiya-jun made a hand-to-hand cooperation with the power forward. Sendoh was shaken and his movement slowed down for a moment. Tsuchiya-jun pushed off the ground to speed up and exploded instantly. In just this one move, he had gotten rid of Sendoh. Attacking the inside line, Yuzumi was ready to protect the basket. There was no trickery, just a head-on confrontation. Tsuchiya-jun jumped up and crossed a long distance. Yuzumi raised his long arms, but Tsuchiya-jun dodged it with a light pull-up. Bang tilde. A set of smooth and flowing small pull-up dunks ignited the Ryonan arena. After landing, Jun Tsuchiya had no expression. Daiei Gakuin was far behind, and he was in no mood to celebrate. The game continued. Tachibana Nijiro broke through the top of the arc and rushed into the paint area with 3 slow steps. The speed was deliberately slow, but the stride was large and the action was very deceptive. The center who helped defend missed, and Tachibana Nijiro hit the ground and sent a wonderful pass. Yuzumi, who was not guarded, suddenly attacked the basket. Bang tilde. The basket was pulled and buzzed. Daiei's round. Jun Tsuchiya still chose to post up this time. Facing Sendoh's defense, he skillfully turned over and shot from mid-range. Swish. Another goal. Next round. Tachibana Nijiro acted as a wall at the top of the arc. Sendoh rushed over and received the ball from Tachibana Nijiro. In order to make Sendoh's shot smoother, Tachibana Nijiro made the maximum, perfect pass, for this ball. Jun Tsuchiya was blocked by Tachibana Nijiro, and Sendoh hit this mid-range shot very smoothly. Retreat, retreat. Seeing that Daiei had sent the ball, Tachibana Nijiro called his teammates to return to defense. Daiei's offensive round. Jun Tsuchiya continued to ask for the ball in the low post. Sendoh held Jun Tsuchiya tightly, and this time after Tsuchiya faked his shoulder, he chose to turn around and kill the inside line. Sendoh was fooled for a moment, and Jun Tsuchiya had already rushed over from the right. Stop and shoot from mid-range. Swish. Hit again. Tachibana Nijiro secretly said in his heart that it was not good. He couldn't defend, and Sendoh defended, but he couldn't hold it. If this goes on, Jun Tsuchiya feels that he will get better and better. Ryonan's round. Tachibana Nijiro pushed forward with the ball, and Jun Tsuchiya pressed up directly. Obviously, no matter who he hits in offense, he will keep a close eye on Tachibana Nijiro in defense. Tachibana Nijiro was tightly entangled by Tsuchiya-jun. Without any hesitation, he threw the ball to Sendoh. Sendoh changed direction twice in front of his body, easily passed his opponent, and made a mid-range shot. What a pity. Ryonan has more than just me. But there is only one you in Daiei Gakuin. Daiei's attack. Tsuchiya-jun didn't ask for a screen. After changing direction with the ball and shaking out of space, he shot Sendoh. Although Sendoh jumped with all his strength, he still couldn't cover Tsuchiya-jun. The basketball bounced on the basket and fell into the net. Akira Sendoh. What? Tachibana guy. This is not the self in a year later, but clearly now. But, if he plays like this, can this guy's physical strength withstand it? Very soon. At the end of the first quarter, Ryonan led Daiei Gakuin by 7 points with a score of 34-27. Tsuchiya-jun scored 17 points in a single quarter. Very strong indeed. But, Tachibana Nijiro. Did this system only search for the keyword, Tsuchiya-jun, from the task library when extracting the task, and forget the question of grade? Because now that 1 quarter has passed, it is clear that Tachibana Nijiro's previous worries were all unnecessary. Tsuchiya-jun in the 2nd grade and the perfect 3rd grade next year are completely different. It's just Sendoh who occasionally passes the ball. In terms of offense, if the two really go head-to-head, they will probably explode. Then this task of suppressing the number of assists. The reward. Isn't it just given for free? Episode 028, Coach, I strongly suggest not to double-team Jun Tsuchiya, Sendoh alone is enough. In the second quarter, the rotation lineups of both sides played for 4 minutes, and then Daegakuen took the lead in replacing the starting lineup. Ryonan also made corresponding substitutions. Sendoh faced Jun Tsuchiya again. This time, Jun Tsuchiya made a breakthrough with the help of the center screen and stopped in the middle distance. Sendoh jumped up suddenly. Obviously, he encountered a player of the same type who was equally matched. Sendoh burst out with considerable motivation, and the sense of pressure on defense became stronger and stronger. This block was also the same, more threatening than before. Jun Tsuchiya had no choice but to increase the arc of his shot. Ting tilde. The ball hit the front of the basket and bounced out. Sendoh smiled slightly after Jun Tsuchiya's score was cut off. However, Tsuchiya also let go of the defense against Tachibana Nijiro and turned his head to completely engage in the bullfight with Sendoh. Now Tachibana Nijiro was liberated and his score increased visibly. On the other hand, Daegakuen relied heavily on Jun Tsuchiya in their offense, and with the gradual in-depth analysis of Tachibana Nijiro's spider web, they specifically blocked Jun Tsuchiya's pass, and Ryonan took advantage of the situation to continue to widen the score gap. Daegakuen called a timeout to adjust. Back to the game, Jun Tsuchiya adjusted his playing style. He began to attack Ryonan's basket, completed a pick and roll with the power forward, and then used the change of rhythm to break into the penalty area. After igniting Yuzumi, Jun Tsuchiya made a 2+1 with a floater. After scoring the goal, Jun Tsuchiya's expression was still fierce. But Tachibana Nijiro didn't understand why that look was mostly directed at him, and from it, Tachibana Nijiro also saw a little bit of unconvinced feeling. It was Sendoh who was fighting him 1v1. Ryonan's turn. Before Jun Tsuchiya and Sendoh could play, Tachibana Nijiro had already singled out the opponent's point guard. It should be said that in the point guard position, Tachibana Nijiro can already beat most players with his perfect control and basic shooting ability. At halftime, Ryonan led Daegakuen by 15 points, 59-44. Tsuchiya Jun had 4 assists. Although as long as this rhythm continues, both tasks will most likely be completed. But to be on the safe side, Coach, I strongly suggest not to double-team Tsuchiya Jun. Sendoh is enough. Even if he can score, the other players at Daegakuen can't. Instead of double-teaming Tsuchiya, it's better for everyone to pay attention to Tsuchiya's passing while defending at their respective positions. Tachibana Nijiro gave Coach Taroka Moichi a sincere suggestion. Tachibana Nijiro really wants an offensive player. What if Taroka Moichi arranges a double team for Tsuchiya in the second half, forcing Tsuchiya to pass the ball? That would be bad. Taroka Moichi, seeing that Jun Tsuchiya was still able to score so well against Sendoh's defense, did want Ikegami to double-team him, but after thinking about it, he finally agreed with Tachibana Nijiro's idea. Facing a typical one-man team like Daegakuen, isolation is also a good strategy. Seeing the head coach nod, Tachibana Nijiro felt more stable. Sendoh was a little confused. Although it's good to be able to play 1v1 next, in this case, it's better to double-team, right? What do you think? Why do you look so happy? Of course, forget it. You won't understand even if I tell you. Sendoh was stunned when he heard this. I mean, isn't it fun to see you play 1v1? If you can beat a top scorer like Jun Tsuchiya, you will also be national level. Tachibana Nijiro reacted quickly and easily fooled him. Yeah, that's right. The second half started quickly. Tsuchiya Jun was strongly challenged by Sendoh, while Tachibana Nijiro carefully blocked Tsuchiya's passing route with the spider web. Opening. Tsuchiya Jun made 2 strong shots from the outside, 1 of 2. Ryonan side. Sendoh also had the same hit rate. In the next round, Tsuchiya's pass after breaking through the penalty area was intercepted by Tachibana Nijiro again. Suddenly, Tsuchiya Jun frowned. But Tsuchiya Jun is Tsuchiya Jun. In the subsequent rounds, he can still score goals, but his score is increasing rapidly, and his assists are stagnant. In the fourth quarter, Tsuchiya Jun's score reached 45 points, while Sendoh's score was 44 points. Compared with the score, Tachibana Nijiro only looked at the assists. Obviously, the possibility of Tsuchiya Jun's assists in double digits in the remaining time is almost zero. Tachibana Nijiro glanced at Tsuchiya and Sendoh, thinking, thank you tilde. On the court, Tachibana Nijiro came to the top of the arc, but instead of calling for a pick and roll, he suddenly accelerated. Whoosh! The point guard Daegakuen followed up, but was exposed by Tachibana Nijiro's ball control and was left behind. Next, Tachibana did not choose to shoot, but chose to attack the basket, and before the Daegakuen players could make up for the defense, he made a layup. Unconsciously, Tachibana's score has reached 20 points. It feels like Tachibana Nijiro invested a lot in offense and defense today, especially against Tsuchiya-jun's pass. So far, all I can imagine is Tachibana Nijiro blocking Tsuchiya-jun's pass. Thanks to his ball control ability, Tachibana Nijiro's offense is also good, and his shooting is very soft. As a point guard, being able to score and not being able to score is a world of difference. Yes, Tachibana Nijiro has the ability to attack independently, which is very important. The rounder Daigakuen is naturally still Tsuchiya-jun. Sendoh stood in front of Jun Tsuchiya, lowered his body, and pulled the distance between them just right, forming a balance of offense and defense against the sudden shot. Sendoh took a step back, followed Jun Tsuchiya with steady steps, and after missing the shot, Tsuchiya had a backup plan, stopped and turned, and completed it in one go. To everyone's surprise, Sendoh seemed to have anticipated what Jun Tsuchiya would do next, and stepped up to defend too quickly. Almost at the same time as Jun Tsuchiya stopped, Sendoh completed his footsteps. Then at the moment Jun Tsuchiya jumped, the defense in front of him suddenly made him feel like a wall blocking him, airtight, so he leaned back a little more, and barely got past Sendoh's block. Rebound. Boom. The ball bounced out of the basket. The ball bounced far away, making it out of reach for the inside players fighting under the basket. But obviously, it didn't include Yuzumi, who was 2 meters tall. Bang tilde. The rebound was taken. Episode 029. The pool is especially good today tilde thanks to you for restricting Tsuchiya tilde thank you tilde. Uozumi grabbed the ball and passed it to Tachibana Nijiro. Tsuchiya-jun pressed forward, but unexpectedly, Tachibana Nijiro changed direction and easily slipped out of the space. Then, Tachibana Nijiro gently pushed the ball forward and launched the perfect pass. The basketball came to Sendoh's hands very comfortably. Swish! Sendoh easily made a layup. Good pass. Sendoh gave Tachibana Nijiro a thumbs up. Tsuchiya-jun was very uncomfortable because of Sendoh's restriction. Today's hit rate was completely different from the past. The only situation he could think of similar to today was Hakata University of Commerce, which ended him in the quarterfinals last year. But that Hakata University of Commerce was the national runner-up after Sano. With 2 minutes left in the game, Ryonan was already leading by more than 30 points. There was no need to fight to the end in a training match. Daigakuen took the lead in withdrawing all the main players. Tachibana Nijiro, who had been calculating the number of assists of Jun Tsuchiya, finally breathed a sigh of relief. He returned to the bench. Not long after, the whistle for the end of the game sounded. The score on the field was 119-85, and Ryonan defeated Daigakuen to win the game. So far, Ryonan has won all the training matches before the county conference, including Daigakuen, which is at the national top 8 level. The system's task completion prompt has also appeared, but because of the handshake session after the game, Tachibana Nijiro has no time to pay attention to it for the time being. At the same time, Tsuchiya, line up. Jun Tsuchiya raised his head and was silent for a moment, but soon sorted out his emotions, wiped the sweat from his forehead, and turned to look at his teammates around him. However, when he looked up, he saw faces that disappointed him. TSK. Around Jun Tsuchiya, everyone from Daigakuen had a dazed look in their eyes, and they obviously couldn't accept the tragic defeat of Daigakuen. But, in those staggered distractions, his eyes quietly focused on Jun Tsuchiya again. Tsuchiya raised his head, thinking, the result is still the same. So weak. Can you only rely on me? And even if you rely on me, you don't understand. He applied for a training match with Ryonan. The purpose is to let his teammates from Dai Academy see clearly how a team with point guard assists as the core should operate. However, perhaps because of their strength, or because they saw their teammates not doing well on the court, their teammates always couldn't control their emotions. So that their teammates still subconsciously wanted to stay in the old routine of full-strength defense and relying on themselves for offense, unwilling to come out, and their running positions were completely messed up, and then they scored more annoyed. In this vicious cycle, with Tachibana Nijiro's ability to block the pass, even if it was a breakthrough pass, it was more difficult to pass. In addition, Akira Sendoh in the first-year duo of Ryonan. Jun Tsuchiya admitted, I got a little carried away with the 1v1 while playing. Really, I can't blame others. After a long while, Jun Tsuchiya came back to his senses. He tried to cheer up, clapped his hands and said, okay. Watch your expression. It's just a training match. There will be county competitions and national competitions later. After that, Tsuchiya noticed that his teammates' responses were quite unwilling. While taking a deep breath to calm down, many people's throats were trembling. Today, we have seen the strength of other counties. Compared with last year, we have almost stood still. We need to work harder, everyone. Yes, sorry, Tsuchiya. Jun Tsuchiya patted his cheeks and tried to show the smile that gave everyone confidence as a trump card in the past. Thinking, There is no way. I am a little weak, but I can't say anything bad about my unwillingness and hard work. I can only do my best to make the team stronger. The most suitable path for Da Rong Academy is now in front of him. This is also the path he can think of, and the one that can best play to the strength of the Da Rong team members. Both sides, line up. Salute. Thank you for your advice. At the center circle, when they shook hands, Jun Tsuchiya calmly extended his hand to Sendoh. You are very good. Apart from you, I can only think of Matsumoto Minoru from Sano as a scorer of the same type. Although Sendoh didn't know who Matsumoto Minoru was, he still shook hands with him, and scratched his head with his other hand in distress. You still score more points. Hearing this, Tsuchiya, who lost the game, shook his head and did not respond, but turned to look at Tachibana Nijiro. You are lucky to have such a teammate. Tachibana Nijiro. Well, the shooting guard is Sendoh. The center is Uozumi. The small forward is Ikegami, who specializes in defense. The third-year power forward, Daisuke Funabashi, who is a bit ordinary, has a physical advantage, and the act of running brought by his passing is also very compatible with his own passing. Thinking about the situation at Dai Gakuen, Tachibana Nijiro really couldn't say anything to refute. When Tsuchiya Jun turned his head, he saw the score on the sideline scoreboard that had not been cleared, and then whispered, "See you at this year's national competition. You will see another completely different Dai Gakuen then." Sendoh nodded. Okay, I'm looking forward to it. And Tachibana Nijiro. That. Next time. To be honest, next time, I may not be like this. At that time, maybe I will directly beat you with points in the face. Sendoh. Tsuchiya. Hearing this, the two looked at Tachibana Nijiro with quite strange eyes. Tachibana, are you still asleep? Then, I'll wait and see. Tsuchiya didn't complain like Sendoh, but in the end, he leaned over and shook hands with Tachibana Nijiro from a distance, and then turned around and left with his teammates. Looking at Tsuchiya's back, suddenly, snap tilde. Tachibana Nijiro slapped Sendoh's junior. Hey tilde, you've been killed tilde. How can you fight Shinichi Maki if you keep going like this? There's no way you can beat him, right? Akira Sendoh gave Tachibana Nijiro a speechless look. Tachibana, is it possible? I'm just a freshman? And, who is Shinichi Maki? The strongest point guard in Kanagawa. Well, maybe a shooting guard, a small forward, a power forward, and what's wrong with a freshman? Didn't he even win the quarterfinals? The next goal is the national championship. Let's not talk about the national championship. What kind of monster is Shinichi Maki you're talking about? It's almost the same as you tilde. Tachibana Nijiro's suddenly raised fist made Akira Sendoh stunned for a moment, and the corners of his mouth seemed to rise slightly. Tachibana, your inexplicable confidence is quite magical. Snap tilde. Is that right tilde? My friend has a cheat tilde. And today's pool is especially good tilde. Thanks to you for restricting Tsuchiya tilde. Thank you. Episode 030, Offensive Player Kagami Tiger and Sendoh can't wait for a 1v1. Card Ticket Mission. In the training match with Dai Gakuen, limit the number of assists of Dai Gakuen's ace Tsuchiya Jun to single digits. Card Ticket Mission has been completed, and the rewards have been loaded. Get the reward, draw ticket times 10 feet. Card Pool Mission, defeat Dai Gakuen in the training match and win the game. Card Pool Mission has been completed, and the rewards have been loaded. The limited time, offensive player, card pool has been opened. After returning to the locker room, Tachibana Nijiro immediately started drawing cards. The rewards for this game, plus the remaining 10 draws from the defensive card pool, the current number of card tickets has accumulated a total of 20 draws, and I can't wait to open the card pool. Tachibana Nijiro. Good, this time it's reliable. It's still the familiar gold card with a cover on the back, and the 3 purple cards guarding it in the middle are Sakurai Ryo, Hayama Kotaro, and Heizaki Shogo. After the previous card draws, Tachibana Nijiro was too lazy to complain about Sakurai Ryono and the other 2 purple cards. However, this time the card pool is really good. Whether it is Hayama Kotaro or Heizaki Shogo, even if it is a purple card, it is a win if you draw it, so this time Tachibana Nijiro doesn't have to hesitate to draw a single card. Directly. Draw 20 times in a row and throw it out. Whoosh tilde. Whoosh tilde. Whoosh tilde. Whoosh tilde. Under Tachibana Nijiro's expectant eyes, 20 cards flew out of the card pool in a row, all dim and neatly arranged in front of him. And then, one by one, like dominoes, they were turned over from left to right. Clang tilde. Clang tilde. Clang tilde. A buzzing sound. The bright green light was like a hand reaching out from the abyss, tightly grasping Tachibana Nijiro's heart. In a blink of an eye, the process of turning over the cards was more than halfway, and the purple he expected still did not appear. Just when Tachibana Nijiro's eyelids were twitching wildly and he was thinking, it won't be all green. Suddenly, here comes a big one. A golden light shines into Tachibana Nijiro's eyes. On the card, Seirin Team Uniform. Number 10. Kagami Tiger. Player, Seirin Kagami Tiger, Beginner. Skills, Wild Tiger, Beginner, Talented Bounce, Beginner, Zone, Unlocked Condition Wild Advanced, Ultra-Wide Range Defense, Unlocked Condition Zone, Direct Linkage Type Zone, Unlocked Condition Zone Advanced. Wild Tiger, Beginner, Tiger-like deterrence, highly focused, completely relying on intuitive movements. Talented Bounce, Beginner, jump higher and longer each time, land before the opponent, move freely in the air. Related skills, Overhand Dunk, Overhand Block, Emergency Stop Turn Dunk, Emergency Stop Fade Away Jump Shot, Overhand Tip In, Air Walk, Unlocked Condition Talented Bounce Intermediate, Meteor Dunk, Unlocked Condition Talented Bounce Advanced. Tachibana Nijiro, FK. So long, so cool. I don't mean to say that the novice gold card, first personality Akashi, given by the system for free is not good, but this long list of skills is really deterrent. Although most of them were not unlocked, Tachibana Nijiro was already very satisfied with Wildness, Genius Jump, and a bunch of related skills in Genius Jump. The most important thing is Bounce, Block, Strength, Dunk, Rebound, Block. It perfectly made up for Akashi's shortcomings in attributes, and he became an all-around king like Sendoh, and combined with other players drawn, he is still a second-year Sendoh. Name, Tachibana Nijiro. Team, Ryonan, first year. Height, 183 centimeters. Weight, 73 kilograms. Wingspan, 190 centimeters. Speed, 82. Strength, 84. Ball control, 88. Passing, 88. Bounce, 88. Layup, 81. Dunk, 88. Mid-range shot, 82. Three-pointer, 82. Rebound, 85. Blocks, 88. Steals, 81. Single defense, 82. Assist defense, 86. Vision, 88. Physical fitness, 85. Players selected, personality Akashi Seijuro, Beginner, Hanamiya Makoto, Beginner, Ogahara Seihiro, Beginner, Kagami Tiger, Beginner. The next day, Ryonan Arena. Sendoh prepared for a moment. Bent down and made a triple threat pose again. The opposite side, Tachibana Nijiro, also lowered his center of gravity with his movements, staring at him with burning eyes, and the imposing aura made Sendoh feel as if he was facing Tsuchiya Jun. Sendoh, we agreed to just play a few balls casually. Actually, there's no need to be so serious. Looking at the score on the sidelines, Sendoh took a deep breath. 5-4. He was 1 point behind. Although he didn't know how Tachibana Kojiro's physical ability and offensive performance suddenly changed so much, he could be sure that in terms of height, the opponent could even overcome the 5 cm height difference and confront him head-on. So, now the most suitable weapon for him to compete with the opponent is to break through and attack the basket. So, let's compete with each other by breaking through. Snap tilde. Snap tilde. The ball landed at a very fast speed. Compared with the dribbling in the previous training match, Sendoh's dribbling speed was obviously faster at this moment, because facing Tachibana Kojiro's point guard level movement frequency and stealing ability, if he didn't dribble fast enough, it would be quite dangerous. As Sendoh kept shifting his center of gravity left and right, the ball also changed direction left and right in front of Tachibana Kojiro's eyes, without any unnecessary movements, and the dribbling was fast and clean. Boom tilde. Suddenly. Sendoh's breakthrough started suddenly. In Sendoh's vision, Tachibana Nijiro's figure swayed slightly, and his beast-like momentum surged again during the movement. In a blink of an eye, Sendoh's breakthrough route was cut off. However, after the previous few balls, Sendoh had already expected this. Almost at the same time when Tachibana Nijiro moved sideways in front of him, he had already made a crotch change of hands with a terrifyingly fast reaction. Then, learned from Tsuchiya Jun's back turn. The ball protector took advantage of the situation to block and lock Tachibana Nijiro's figure firmly to his side. Although Sendoh blocked Tachibana Nijiro's position, the latter suddenly exerted force with his feet, and immediately broke through Sendoh's blockade with his updated physical ability plus wildness. The tiger-shaped phantom behind Tachibana Nijiro breathed ferociously at Sendoh, and although Sendoh could not see it, he could clearly feel the spirit. Sendoh tilde. It's not that easy to break through me tilde. The fierce and exciting offense and defense made Tachibana Nijiro couldn't help but smile excitedly. Sendoh frowned and replied with a tit for tat, is that so? Then, his dribbling posture changed again and he stopped suddenly. Pull back. Step back. At the moment of opening up space, Sendoh did not adjust his footsteps and immediately made a very dangerous large change of direction in front of his body, and the ball slipped through Tachibana Nijiro's fingertips. After this smooth action, the breakthrough was successful.